All right, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence is no longer the future. It is embedded within our present, from self-driving cars to virtual assistants to AI in classrooms. We have actually entered the fourth industrial revolution. It sounds absolutely fascinating. By 2030, AI could contribute to at least 15 trillion to the global economy. And what actually piques my curiosity is that artificial consciousness is the forefront of how mechanisms are going to be unfolding in the future. But to speak more about this interesting topic, we actually have an interesting guest in our studio today. He happens to be Dr. Yasar Ayaz, who is the chairman of NCAI at NAS. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Assalamu alaikum, wonderful to have you over here.
You
I mean, she makes sure that she does a lot of hard work, so he wants to.
Thank you for a very nice
introduction.
But very quickly, sir, I'm going to stay true to the topic. I think that the question that you really need to answer for us and our audiences today is, how do you think that we need to learn AI that it actually effectively makes us all millionaires?
Yeah.
Forget about the jobs and whatnot. How do we need to learn it?
Actually, you know that artificial intelligence, the new jobs that it is creating, they are some of the very high-end jobs actually, and most of the white-collar jobs are transforming into AI. So some of the underlying requirements for artificial intelligence at the world level are, of course, number one, compute. In order to crunch data, you need some compute systems. True. You need electricity, both of which we don't have too much in abundance. But what we do have in abundance is, a lot of workforce that can program and make, algorithms which actually work on those high-performance computes. Yeah. And in that, we see that a lot of spillover of the technical development for artificial intelligence is already beginning to come to Pakistan. And the numbers in the world are going up. You see that previously, McKinsey had said that 400 million jobs are going to go out, 133 million are going to be created anew because of AI. Okay. So now the number has gone up to 170. So 170 million are being created. Right. So, but also for Pakistan, the thing is that most of our skilled labor that works abroad, skilled or unskilled labor, the percentage, for Pakistanis is more in the unskilled labor side. So 60 to 70% blue collar labor, and the rest is, the white collar labor. So if we want to be on the higher earning side, we need to train people in AI for the white collar jobs, because the white collar jobs are also the ones which will be affected by it.
And so what sort of trainings do you think that we need to get? Which universities do you think we need to go to? Because I've been telling my viewers ever since that I've been on this program that we really need to learn, and this process keeps on going. So what are those effective fields that we really need to tap on? Can Eesha do that? Can I do that? How
you certainly can, and you will have to, and everybody will have to. Yeah, it's like any job which for example, if you are working on a job which is plugged in with a computer in any way, okay, this means the part of that job will become automated. All you see, like media channels in Pakistan right now are working on, avatars to do a lot of, for example, newscasting and stuff like that. So they, like number one, a lot of the people watching the TV are tech savvy. So that's why sometimes they would just, want to see an avatar just for the heck of it. Because,
It sounds absolutely scary that me and Shahzad are replaceable. But on this note, let's
the
talk
questions that you ask, if you're able to conduct the interview in a way that an avatar can't, then you're not replaceable.
Wow.
That's the human element in the skill.
Okay, that reassures us. Thank you for that reassurance.
Point.
Yeah, exactly. And on these notes, let's talk about how you at the Pakistani National Center for Artificial Intelligence are bridging the gap between artificial intelligence learning and maybe the unskilled part that Pakistanis are facing.
Definitely. You see, if we don't create our own AI, we'll end up buying AI from abroad. The same way that we buy cars, the way we buy mobile phones, and the IT revolution has come, but really we are on just the user side of it. So for AI in particular, two of the biggest fields which are going to be affected in the world are law and medicine, right? So for both of these, we have very signature products. So for example, working with the Supreme Court of Pakistan and LJCP, we've been developing an algorithm that helps resolve cases faster. You know that the backlog of cases in Pakistan almost every year is around 2.5 million. So now we have an engine in which you can put in the facts of a case, it can evaluate that case, give you the expected judgment.
Give you a judgment.
Give you a judgment, the reasoning.
Wait.
No, I dare not say that.
So just to clarify, the machine itself is self-aware and it's making conscious and ethical decisions on behalf of humans. So is this endeavoring in the field of AI consciousness?
So when we define consciousness, what we mean by self-awareness is that the machine realizes that it exists. You see, as humans, when we say we are self-aware, it means that I exist, there is an I in me. Yeah. If I'm just focused on my task, that I have to complete the task, then I'm not self-aware. So most of the machines being created right now, they have they're particular to a particular task and improving that performance at that task. there are researches on self-awareness.
True.
But no big organization big enough to fund that kind of a dangerous AI is funding this kind of research on self-awareness. That's why so far it's highly unlikely that a self-aware AI will come around.
Yeah, which is why I would want to explain it to our audiences. Now imagine that, because we were speaking about how, artificial intelligence might create, what most probably be like a judgment. So imagine that it was corporate laws, so all of these papers state corporate law, and these are all the precedents that we have been set, in the previous judgments that have been given. So, all of this is given to artificial intelligence. And probably the judgment's going to be on point anyways.
Oh, wow.
Because there's nothing out. But do we really need a human touch in that sort, right?
I think we do, because what AI does is, how generative AI works is how it is different from the conventional AI is that it tries to replicate the way that humans would give an answer to a certain question and produce an answer based on everything the human has already done previously. But whenever there is something new that comes in, an incident which is not, let's say 70% similar to what has happened in the past, that's where the human touch comes in. This is why AI that we envision for Pakistan is a helper, is a supporter, is an assistant on your desk.
Which is why one last question now, and one last question, and that is that how do you think Pakistan can be a breeding ground? Mr. Rehan Jali, was over here on my show, sat right next to me. He sold his company Security AI at $1.7 billion. How do you think Pakistan needs to kind of tap on that? Why can't we be safe haven for all of these individuals to kind of produce these unicorn companies?
The first thing is that the reason why even a lot of Pakistani companies go abroad and register the company in the US rather than doing it in Pakistan is because we don't really have a system for risk capital here. So risk capital means that, the same as venture capitals, that for example, you bid the product that you're making to another company and they offer you billions against the idea that you have developed so far and take you over another road, just like Rehan Jalil has
like
been
a Shark Tank.
Like a Shark Tank. Some television channels even started, some shows.
It was fake though.
Oh, okay. You know better about that.
Did invest, that was the problem.
But the thing is that we need to create a risk capital system in which, for example, investments are somehow, backed by, the same way that it works in the US. There has to be insurances, there have to be support systems for. And number two, when it comes to tenders, government tenders and investments, we have a very old age system in which, for example, any company that has been existing for 10 years has an advantage over another company that exists for 7 years or 5 years. So the new entrants don't really get an advantage when they come to sell something, even if their technology is better, higher selling, and provably technically more solid. So we need to come to standards when we actually test the product that we're buying, rather than just relying on, let's say, a company has existed for 10 years, so what they're selling must be more reliable.
Oh my God, what a fascinating explanation. It was lovely having you on the show to speak so candidly and vividly about artificial intelligence. You were so well versed on the topic. I think our audiences are going to be extremely satisfied with what
one of my favorite chairmen in recent times.
Thank you so much.
You're very kind.
Always so vibrant. For people who are out there, ladies and gentlemen, Jummah Mubarak, make sure that you have a great weekend. And for people who are getting married, you too have a great weekend and best of luck, So until next time, look out yourselves. We are well this morning. Allah Hafiz, good morning. Look out yourselves. Bye. Learn artificial intelligence.